Morning, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope everyone is having a nice Monday morning to start the work week. It was a pretty quiet start to the week after what was a really nice weekend. Again, Friday evening ended up being really pleasant. Saturday was just about as nice as you can get, especially for mid-July standards. Cooler temperatures, lower dew points. Sunday a little bit warmer, a little bit more humid, but overall, again, pretty nice weekend, especially for July. In fact, again, I'll start off with a look at sort of the weather calendar for us. So far through the month, again, almost halfway through the month now, and here in the capital city in terms of high temperatures, 7 days with above average highs, 5 days with below average highs, including the last 3 days. One day where we were right at average. That was almost a week ago on the 6th when we had a high of 89. But our average high temperature now is basically right at 90 degrees over the next several weeks. Climatologically speaking, again, kind of into the hottest several week period of the year where, again, normal high temperatures are right at 90 and they basically stay there almost through the end of the month before we start to slowly begin to see those average highs climb back down as we head into August. But overall, not a bad start to the month of July for us. Not been horribly hot for us. Been humid at times, but again, nothing that we can't handle. And we've seen at least a little bit of moisture. Again, certainly there's been some parts across the state that have seen a lot of rain over the past several weeks. Here in Lincoln, we've seen the moisture, and again, it's kind of been hit and miss there, but it's not necessarily been a ton of moisture, but it's been timely, and we've seen enough that through about the first half of the month, we're just a little bit above average in terms of our rainfall for the first about 2 weeks of July, and have more chances for rain in the forecast as we head through this week. So we'll hopefully continue to add some moisture into the bucket, because we are for the year still below normal by about 5.5 inches for our rainfall. Again, so $1.85 for the month. For the year, liquid precipitation just over 11 inches, which is again 5.55 inches below normal. So again, still need some more moisture, but again, it's been fairly timely for us over the past several weeks. In terms of those temperatures yesterday, again, high was just a few degrees below normal. The low yesterday morning, awfully comfortable start to our Sunday. Mid-50s, our normal low temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. So again, yesterday morning was awfully comfortable for us. In fact, just a few degrees away from a record low. That record low is 50 degrees set back in 1950. So again, pretty comfortable weekend for us. Today, though, we'll be getting hotter, a little bit more humid. Temperatures well back into the 90s, I think, across much of the state today, and even into the day tomorrow. And then those rain chances. There are chances for moisture in the forecast. We're really going to start to see those begin Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, and that will continue into the day on Wednesday, and then into the day on Thursday to go along with some cooler temperatures heading our way, again, especially towards the middle part of the week before things heat back up as we head into the following weekend. So again, today kind of back to our regularly scheduled sort of July heat and humidity after a nice little break from it this weekend, but things will begin get hot, get a little bit more humid, and then another cold front heads our way that's going to sweep through the area Tuesday into Wednesday. That will lead to those rain chances and some of those cooler conditions. Also, again, been dealing with some, again, a little touchy sort of air quality. Again, there's some more wildfires across parts of Canada. So again, air quality has been a little touch and go at times for us here in eastern Nebraska. By far and away, again, it's worse for areas off to our north and to our northeast, up into Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the Great Lakes regions. But again, you may notice at times today and maybe even to the day tomorrow, there could be some reduced air quality. So again, certainly for those folks who are sensitive to that, that's something we'll want to watch out for. Low temperatures this morning, much more normal for this time of year, especially for us here in eastern Nebraska, into the lower to middle 60s this morning for low temperatures, including 66 here in the capital city, a mix of 50s and 60s across the western half of the state. On the tempest stations across the Lincoln Metro, again, temperatures generally in the mid to upper 60s for those lows early this morning and out there right now. Pretty quiet conditions, plenty of sunshine as we start our Monday. Have seen maybe some areas of patchy fog in parts of eastern Nebraska, western Iowa, but overall not too much of a concern. Just past the 9 o'clock hour, already into the upper 70s, including 77 at the studio, 76 at the airport. Light south wind at 8 miles an hour. Dew point, though, again, ticking back up into the mid-60s. Think those dew points will be back to the mid-upper 60s and even low 70s by this afternoon. Temperatures on the tempest stations across town, again, already into the mid-upper 70s and even some low 80s 80s already on the board for parts of town, including kind of northeastern part of town and southeastern part of town. Seeing some temperatures into the lower 80s already. Temperatures across the state generally in the 70s. Warm spots right now. Beatrice and Hebron, they're at 77. Also 77 in Chadron, and also 77 right now in Kearney. Those dew point temperatures into the lower to middle 60s. So again, it's not oppressively humid out there right now, but I do think these dew points will be ticking back up by a few degrees as we head into this afternoon. Winds generally light out of the south or southwest for most locations at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And the satellite and radar picture again showing a few clouds, but overall pretty quiet conditions across the 10-11 coverage area. If you check out the visible satellite imagery, again, you can see just a few clouds kind of drifting across the state. Otherwise, things are pretty quiet as we start our Monday. So if we go back to the, again, satellite and radar picture, look at the regional view overall across much of the Midwest right now, things pretty quiet. We zoom out, look at a national view. Unfortunately, areas down in parts of central Texas this weekend got hammered with more areas of heavy rain. Again, for those areas, again, down near Kerrville and things like that, they don't need to see any more moisture right now, but they saw some areas of heavy rain. Otherwise, kind of have some showers drifting across parts of Ohio into parts of New England. A little bit of activity down across parts of Florida, but for the most part, things are pretty quiet across much of the country. Doesn't necessarily look as quiet, though, when we look at our weather alerts. We have a number of things that we're kind of watching for. Again, flood watches there, again, in parts of central Texas. Also have flood watches up across parts of the East Coast, up into the New England area. Heat advisories also for parts of New England, parts of the Southeast, parts of the far West. So again, kind of a lot going on there. And then again, for much of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, air quality alerts, smoke from those Canadian wildfires continuing to drift into the area, leading to areas of reduced air quality. Here at home, though, no weather alerts in place for us for the day today, and don't expect any as we head through the day today. So we check out Skycast. Again, not a whole lot to talk about, at least for our Monday. Skies should remain mainly sunny, I think, as we head through the day today. There is a chance maybe across parts of the Panhandle that we could see isolated showers, thunderstorms as we head later this afternoon into this evening. But I think for the 10-11 coverage area, we should be just looking at mainly sunny skies, quiet conditions for our Monday. Overnight tonight, skies expected to remain mainly clear, conditions pretty quiet for us. And then into the day on Tuesday, cold front that I mentioned earlier begins to kind of push into the area. That's going to lead a chance for some showers and thunderstorms as we head into Tuesday evening and Tuesday night. I think mainly kind of for north central, northeastern Nebraska would be the best chance to see those thunderstorms. And then here in Lincoln and eastern Nebraska, we could start to see those rain chances and chances for thunderstorms begin to tick back up as we head late Tuesday night into the overnight hours. And then behind that system into the day on Wednesday, we'll start to see the cooler conditions behind that front, northerly winds, but we'll also continue to see some chances for some showers and thunderstorms, I think, into the day on Monday and into Monday evening as well. But again, it will be at least trending then cooler as we head towards the middle of the week thanks to that front. As far as the precipitation potential over the next 3 days, a lot of this would be coming again Tuesday evening, Tuesday night into the overnight hours. But it does look like, again, plenty of moisture in the atmosphere. Could lead to some areas of heavy rain. Eastern half of the state could be looking at an inch to maybe on the high end 2.5 inches of moisture with some of those thunderstorms as they move through the area again Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, and into the overnight hours. You look at the 7-day precipitation potential, not necessarily a ton of moisture on top of that. There's still some low-end chances for moisture as we head into the second half of the week and of the weekend. But again, I think a lot of our moisture is going to be coming in that Tuesday evening, Tuesday night into Wednesday time frame for us here in the 10-11 coverage area. So severe weather threat today. There is that marginal risk in the far west parts of the Panhandle along the high plains. Again, but much of the 10-11 coverage area, no severe weather threat for the day today. For the day tomorrow, we do have a marginal and slight risk for severe weather across the area. That slight risk kind of north central into parts of northwestern Nebraska. Again, large hail would likely be the primary threat with those thunderstorms to go along with damaging winds, areas of heavy rain, and a pretty low-end tornado threat for the day tomorrow. Lincoln, Lancaster County, parts of Lancaster County at least, under that marginal risk. Our severe threat wouldn't arrive until very late Tuesday night. And again, by the time those storms arrive here lost a little bit of their punch. Again, so most of the severe weather expected, again, kind of north-central parts of the state into Tuesday evening. Into the day on Wednesday, we do have most of the area covered with at least a marginal risk. So, again, at least an isolated strong to severe storm can't be ruled out for the day on your Wednesday. So if we zoom in, take a closer look, statewide view through the day today, really not a whole lot for us to worry about. Sunny to mostly sunny skies, light southerly winds through the day today. Again, hot, humid conditions to start the week this afternoon into this evening. There could be an isolated storm in the far west. Overnight tonight, mostly clear, quiet conditions. It will be, again, warm, a little bit humid, and then, again, warm and humid again as we head into the day on Tuesday. With so southerly winds continuing to pump in some moisture to the region. That'll set the stage as that cold front begins to push into the area for additional thunderstorms Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday evening, starting in kind of north-central Nebraska before kind of beginning then to push into eastern and central sections of the state by late Tuesday evening into Tuesday night. Again, as those storms push to the east, they are expected to weaken some, but again, still could produce some areas of heavy rain and maybe some limited severe wind or hail as we head late Tuesday into the overnight hours. By Wednesday morning, we're on sort of the other side of that front. We should be looking at, again, scattered showers and thunderstorms being possible into Wednesday and into Wednesday evening as that frontal boundary kind of just settles across the area. But again, as that front settles in, brings in those rain chances, it will also bring in some cooler temperatures. So today will be one of the warmer days that we have, if not the warmest day we have over the course of the next week. Highs will be in the low to mid 90s for the eastern half of the state, mid to upper 90s, and even triple digits for the western half of the state. In Lincoln, we'll go 95, but with where our dew points are, we certainly could see those feels-like temperatures this afternoon approaching the triple digits, if not climbing into the lower triple digits. We'll go 93 for Grand Island, Hastings, and Kearney, as well as North Platte, 102 in Chadron this afternoon. Low temperatures tonight, mid to upper 60s to right around 70 degrees, so a warm night tonight. Tuesday, again, staying hot, staying humid, especially for the southern half of the state. That front will kind of edge into the northern half of the state, so upper 80s, low 90s for the northern tier of the state. Still looking at lower to middle 90s for much of southern Nebraska, and maybe even mid to upper 90s for parts of southwestern Nebraska for Tuesday afternoon. And then Wednesday morning, again, 60s to right around 70 degrees for lows. Wednesday, we start to see those temperatures cool back, particularly for the northern tier of the state. Again, parts, Valentine, Ainsworth, Thedford, O'Neill may only reach the upper 60s to right around 70 degrees Wednesday afternoon. Cooler then as you head, or a little bit warmer than as you head further to the south and to the east, but still well below normal. Again, upper 70s, right around 80 for the Tri-Cities. Here in Lincoln, we'll still shoot for the upper 80s Wednesday afternoon. Again, a lot of that will depend on the timing of the front when that front arrives. If it pushes in a little bit earlier, certainly could see some cooler conditions on Wednesday. But again, hottest readings expected in the southeastern corner of the state Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures then Thursday morning anywhere from the low to mid 50s to the mid to upper 60s across the state. And then our coolest day of the week likely comes on Thursday. Again, high temperatures for most of the state, generally going to be in the mid to upper 70s. Again, so a good 10 to maybe 15 degrees below normal for much of the state for the day on Thursday. And then into Friday morning, low to mid 60s, and then we begin to kind of warm things back up, get a little bit closer to normal. Still below average, but a little bit closer to normal Friday afternoon. Highs in the low to mid 80s across much of the state. So 7-day forecast for Lincoln looks like this. Today, it's hot, it's humid, it's dry. Tuesday, kind of hot, humid, and dry for most of the day. That chance for moisture will then go up as we head late Tuesday night into the overnight hours. That chance continues into Wednesday, Thursday as that front kind of wobbles through the area. So we'll go mid-90s Monday, Tuesday, near 90 Wednesday, but then upper 70s Thursday, our coolest day of the week. Temperatures then moderate some as we head Friday into the weekend, getting close to normal with mid to upper 80s Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Again, still looking at least some low-end chances for some moisture Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well. But most of the moisture that we see over the course of the next week likely comes Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, and into the day on your Wednesday as that front slowly pushes its way through the area. 10-day forecast for select cities across the state. You can see by far and away, again, hot, humid to start the week, but Wednesday, Thursday are going to be our coolest days over the next 10 days. Temperatures close to normal Friday through the weekend and then climbing back up above normal, it looks like, through the first half of the week next week, with highs generally in the lower to middle 90s. Dew points over the course of the next 10 days. Again, a little bit muggy today, but then increasing humidity, I think, as we head through the week. Again, a little bit less humidity, I think, behind that front Wednesday, Thursday, but then dew points climbing back to the 60s and 70s for the weekend for us, and then into early next week. Precip chances, really none today. Low end through the day, at least on Tuesday for most of eastern Nebraska. Those chances for thunderstorms peak back up Tuesday night into Wednesday, and then we'll be looking at sort of those off and on scattered showers and thunderstorms possible as we head through the upcoming weekend. 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. This takes us July 21st through July 27th, almost through the end of the month. And right now from the Climate Prediction Center, long range forecast at least favoring above average temperatures across much of the region, and then kind of mixed signals for us in terms of the precipitation, favoring wetter than normal conditions kind of for the upper Midwest into the Great Lakes, maybe just portions of northeastern Nebraska, favoring below average precipitation as you head across parts of central and western Kansas, eastern Colorado, and then areas off to the west across the Pacific Northwest. But most of the state looking at kind of equal chances for above or below average precipitation or normal precipitation for that time frame. So again, not a whole lot for us to worry about today, but again, it will be turning a little bit more July-like for us with those temperatures back into the 90s, humid conditions to start the work week, and again, dry conditions though today, but we will be watching for those thunderstorm chances to arrive again as we head into tomorrow, especially tomorrow evening and tomorrow night across the 10-11 coverage area. So make sure you stay tuned to the forecast. Make sure you have a good way to get your weather information, especially tomorrow evening. Again, make sure you keep it tuned to 1011 both on air and online for all of the latest. Make sure you have us on all your streaming apps, your Roku, your Apple TV, your Fire TV. You can search 1011 now on those apps to get our app downloaded. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching. As always, hope everyone has a nice Monday. Hope everyone has a nice start to the work week. And until next time, we'll see you then.